Hi everyone, it's Claire here. Thanks for joining me on the mat today. Begin in a sitting position, arms relaxed by your sides. Hands either on your ground or on your thighs. You can gaze in front of you or keep your eyes closed. Take a moment here to thank yourself for doing this practice today. Let go of any worries, anxiety, or stress that you may have built throughout the day. As you inhale, feel the air roll in all the way down to your lower belly. As you exhale, feel the warm air as it leaves your nostrils. Take a deep inhale down to the belly and a deep exhale. One last round, inhale, and a last exhale to squeeze out all the air from your body. On the next inhale, raise your arms all the way up to the sky and gaze at, and exhale into our child's pose, forehead on the mat and chest on your thighs. As you inhale, feel the cold air coming through your nostrils. As you exhale, sink a bit deeper into the pose. Keep breathing deeply in and out. Stretch your hips back and down as you reach your hands overhead. On your next inhale, look up and lift your left hand off the ground. Threading it under the right arm, you're going to gaze at your left hand here. Feel the stretch on your side body and in your shoulder. Palm facing forward, keep breathing. Staying here for a few more moments to feel that stretch. Relax further into the pose and back to a neutral child's pose. Now let's repeat on the other side. Lift the right hand off the ground and thread it underneath the left arm here. The palm of your right hand faces up to the sky and gaze at your right hand. With each exhale, sink deeper into the pose. With each inhale, stretch a bit further. And when you're ready, come back to your neutral child's pose. As you inhale, bring the right hand to meet the left, back to our neutral child's pose. Inhale to stretch forward and exhale to sink deeper. Inhale, come back up to sitting, then clasp your hands behind your back. Open the heart and look up. Then as you exhale, swan dive your chest forward until your forehead touches your mat and drop your hands back above your head as far as possible to stretch out these shoulders. Stay here for a few breaths. As you inhale, bring the hands a bit closer to the floor, and as you exhale, lengthen your spine and upper back towards the ground. And on your next exhale, let's release the hands and roll up slowly to a sitting position. Place your hands in front of you and come to your tabletop position. Then tuck the toes under and lift the tailbone up into your downward facing dog. Feel free to walk your dog, to move your hips, or do whatever feels good here. Tuck your tailbone in as you pull the navel in and up. Maybe release your heels to the ground. If that's too much for your hamstring, keep a slight bend in your knees. On your inhale, you're going to raise the right leg behind you, then step it forward in between your hands into or low lunge. Keep the back leg straight and push into the back heel as you bend into your right knee. Feel the stretch in the hamstrings here and breathe deeper into the pose. Your back knee remains straight, and as you sink deeper into your back leg, you want to send your chest forwards and up. Feel the opposing forces here. Then on your next inhale, drop the left knee to the ground and raise the left foot up. You're going to grab your left foot with your right hand, then twist your torso towards your right side, gazing to your right side or behind you. On each inhale, pull your left foot closer to your body. On each exhale, twist a bit deeper into the pose. Bring the gaze back to the front of the room as you release your back foot. Now sit back into your left heel as you extend the right leg in front of you into our half Hanumasana. On an exhale, fold forward towards your right leg as you send the chest towards your calf and place your hands either side of your front foot. Keep the hips square here in order to feel the full stretch on the right hamstring. Gaze towards your foot and sink deeper into the pose as you breathe. Inhale, come back up and bend the right knee. Let's come back to our low lunge here. Then ground both palms to frame the foot and step back to our downward facing dog. On your next inhale, lift the left leg above you, then step it forward between your palms into your low lunge on the left side. The right leg stays straight as you push into your back heel. Send the chest forward as you gaze in front of you, opening your heart and at the same time sinking your hips deeper into that pose to feel the stretch on your right quadricep. Keep the hips square here as the right side has a tendency to go backwards. And sink deeper into the pose and feel that stretch throughout your legs. On your next inhale, release the right knee onto the ground, then lift the right foot up by bending the knee. Grab your right foot with your left hand and twist your torso as you exhale and gaze towards your left side or the back of the room. Your right hand stays on the ground here to support you. On each inhale, pull your foot closer to your body, and on each exhale, twist deeper into the pose, feeling that deep stretch in the quadricep. One last breath in this pose. And on your next inhale, release the foot as you gaze back to the front of the room, releasing your right foot back onto your mat. Planting both hands around your foot, you're going to sit down back into your right heel as you extend your right leg and flex the right foot in front of you. On an exhale, fold forward from the hips, keeping a straight spine. Hands on either side of the left foot as you send your chest to your shin. Keep the hips square here. Think of pulling the left thigh back into its socket. On each inhale, lengthen your chest forward and down. And on each exhale, sink a bit deeper into the pose. Feel that burning stretch in the left hamstring. Inhale, look up, and let's tuck the toes under back into our low lunge. Inhale here, then exhale, step back into your downward facing dog. Take a few breaths here and notice how down dog feels different the second time. Pull the navel up and in as you release your heels onto the ground. Keep a slight bend in the knee if this is too much for your hamstrings. One last breath here. On your next inhale, lift your right leg up to the sky for your three-legged dog. Then bring the knee into your chest as you arch the back. Exhale back to our three-legged dog, send the right leg up. And exhale, bring the knee to the left armpit this time. And as you release your foot to your left side, you're going to shift your weight onto your right hand And slowly peel your left hand off the ground and reach it up towards the sky. Inhale, gaze up to your left hand as you twist your torso towards the sky. And exhale to ground through both feet and your supporting hand. Exhale, look down, place the left hand back to the mat and step back into your three-legged dog. Exhale, bring your knee to your right armpit. Wild thing, shift your weight into your left hand and leg as you drop your right foot behind you and open the heart. The left leg stays straight and the right leg is bent. Reach with your right hand above your head. Gaze at your right thumb. Stay here for a couple of breaths as you feel the grounding through both feet and your supporting hand. Exhale back to three-legged dog. And exhale, release on the ground for downward facing dog. Let's repeat this on the left side. On your next inhale, lift the left leg up to the sky, three-legged dog. Hug your knee to your chest as you arch the back. Send the left leg back to three-legged dog. This time, bring your knee towards your right armpit. Extend the leg and place your foot on the ground. Shift your weight into your left arm. And as you inhale, raise the right hand up to the sky and twist the torso. Gaze at your raised hand here. Ground through both feet and your supporting hand. Feel the stretch through your side body. Push the ground away with your grounded hand as you raise your raised hand up to the sky, feeling these opposing forces. On the next exhale, look down, then back into your three-legged dog. Exhale, bring the knee to the left armpit, shift the weight into your right hand, into Wild Thing. Place the foot behind you as you twist your torso and open your heart towards the sky. Raise your hand above your head, then gaze at your left fingers. Straighten the right leg as you bend the left leg. Feel your weight equally distributed into both feet and your supporting hand. On your next exhale, come back to three-legged dog. And step back into down dog. Good work. Let's take 5 breaths in down dog here. Feel free to take a child's pose if you need to. Take a moment to catch your breath. Maybe walk your dog or move your hips if that feels good. And let's get ready for some back bend movements. As you inhale, come back to your tabletop, dropping your knees on the ground. Then slowly come to lie on your belly on your mat. Place your chin on the ground and your hands under your shoulders. You're going to bend your elbows and hug them in towards your body. On your inhale, we're going to lift the head up as you send the heart forward and up, peeling the kneecaps off the ground as you press into your hips and on the top of your feet. Baby Cobra. Feel that stretch in the upper back. Stay here for a few breaths. Inhale to lift the heart. Exhale to hug the shoulder blades together. Moving into Sphinx. Place your hands in front of you so that your elbows are underneath your shoulders. Lift the chest. Engage and extend both legs as you lift both knees off the ground. Grounding strongly through both hands, you're going to pull your chest up as if you wanted to drag yourself forward. Hug your shoulder blades in towards each other and gaze ahead of you, your chin dropping slightly into your chest. Feel the stretch in your upper back as your shoulders open wider and broader. Let's stay here for one more breath. And exhale, release. Let's come back to a sitting position on your mats. Come to sit on your heels. Then place both hands slightly behind you into baby camel. Press into both hands as you send the tailbone up to the sky. Drop your head behind you if that feels comfortable. And stay here for a few breaths. If you want a deeper stretch, you can place your hands on your feet or on your heels. If this is too much for your back, or if you feel any pain in the lumbar spine, please come back to the seated position onto your heels. Remember to breathe in this position. Inhale and exhale. Keep opening your chest towards the sky, lifting the navel up as you ground through both hands and knees. You can gaze up at the sky or keep your eyes closed. On your next exhale, sit back onto your heels and come back to a seated position. Good work. Let's move into our closing series now. Find your way to a lying position on your mat. Both feet on the floor and knees bent to 90 degrees. Cross the right leg over the left. Open your arms to either side of your body, palms facing up. Shift your hips towards your left side. Then as you exhale, drop the knees onto the ground on your left side. Gaze towards your right hand. Try to breathe deep into this pose. Keep your left shoulder blade grounded. And if your knees are lifting off the floor, you can use your right hand to push them down. Let's stay here for a few more breaths. Remember to keep breathing into the pose. Maybe the breath is shorter. Notice how it's changed from the beginning of your practice. And on your next exhale, release. Bring both knees back into neutral. And gaze up at the sky. Let's repeat the supine twist on the left side now. Cross the left leg over the right. Open your hands. And as you exhale, drop the knees towards your right side until they touch the ground. You can roll your head over to your left and gaze at your left hand. Remember to keep your right shoulder blade on the floor this time. And if your knees are lifting off the ground, you can help yourself by pushing them with your left hand. Let's stay a few more breaths in this pose, feeling the stretch throughout the spine and the side body. Keep breathing. Your hips, shoulders, and head should be aligned in this position. If your hips are slightly off, you can bring them back by shifting them towards your left side. Keep breathing here. Sink a bit deeper into the pose, into the twist on each breath. On your next exhale, bring your neck and your knees back to neutral. And as you uncross the legs, bring the feet back onto the ground. Good work, guys. Let's now hug the knees into our chest and fold our arms around our knees. You can stay here or roll from side to side to massage the lower back. Notice if there's any pain in your body, and you can feel free to move here in whichever way feels good. Keep your eyes closed if you want, or you can gaze up at the sky. Take a few deep breaths in this pose, massaging the inner organs. And when you're ready to come into Shavasana or final pose, you can release the knees onto the ground feet slightly apart and hands wide. If you feel pain in your lower back in Shavasana, feel free to place blocks or bolsters underneath your knees to relieve the lower back. Close your eyes and stay still for the next few moments. Come back to your natural breath and notice how it's different than when you started this practice. Take a moment to observe the sounds around you. Observe the sound of your own breath. Then notice the sounds just around you, maybe people speaking next door or the sounds of insects buzzing. Then extend your senses to notice the sounds maybe on the street, further away. Then extend your senses to the distant sounds, the faraway sounds that you can barely notice. Try to focus on them. Then come back to your own body. Scan your body to notice any sensations that are different now than at the beginning of your practice. Whether it's feelings of pain, relief, or any other feelings. Let your body be heavy and sink into the ground. Take a few more breaths here. Feel free to pause this video to stay here as long as you like. Or if you're ready to close this practice, start bringing movement back into your limbs by moving your feet and hands first. Maybe draw circles with your ankles and wrists. And then take a big inhale as you stretch your hands over your head. Stretch through the top of your fingers until the top of your toes. Then bend your knees. And as you exhale, roll onto your right side and stay here for a few more breaths. Then slowly ground your hands onto the floor and bring yourself back into a seated position. Thank yourself for doing this practice today, for taking the time for yourself. Come into a lotus pose or any other seated position, keeping your eyes closed, and drop your chin slightly down to your chest. Let your sit bones ground deeply into the floor as you sit up straight and tall. And when you're ready, bring your hands to prayer in front of your chest to close this practice. Thank you so much for joining me on the mat today. I hope you enjoyed this practice and see you in another video soon. Namaste.